Hi Jamie and everyone who's found my YouTube channel. Welcome back to another episode. My name is Tracy Huisson and I've recently started my YouTube channel. It is not the only goal or end goal, but once I get closer to that, I will share what it is with you guys. Right now though, I share parts of my life and I hope that it's something that fills your cup. Hope you can resonate with it, and if not, at least hoping that if you are here that you enjoy the content. So on this episode, we're going to be talking about hosting over the festive season. Not so much only hosting, but also just having family over. So I'm hoping that whatever I share, it's something you guys can totally feel me on. So yeah, let's get into it. When you guys think of having family over, is it ever a point where you feel a little bit stressed out? For example, with my mom, whenever she comes over, she's about to, I know at some point during the visit we are going to have a misunderstanding. So the visit is really good, and then there's a moment we're like, no, we're not feeling each other, and then it's like, okay. I don't know if it's because we either really alike or we're really actually not alike. But when you know family's coming over, do you ever have that where you're like, okay, I need to just be calm, I need to have my zen, because there's going to be a moment you no, especially because it's your space. My husband and I, we really enjoy hosting, whether it is having family over, having a braai with our friends, or even having family stay here. Either way, we enjoy having people in our space. We enjoy having just a good time in our space. And so when we had our family call us and they were like, look, we want to come over during the festive season, we're like, yes, obviously, say less. So we're super excited. That was before we obviously knew what we were getting ourselves into. So in our home, December is like a sacred time. So if you want to do anything, you can do that before Christmas or after Christmas. But days leading up to Christmas and maybe a few days afterwards, they belong to the family. You're going to church on Christmas. There's the midnight mass. You're going to be eating food the whole of Christmas Day and Boxing Day. There's certain things that you cannot get away from, and that's really for both myself and my husband. So for me, would be going to my grand's house and all the families there. That's where Christmas is. And for him, it would be going to his parents' place. Oh, I'm sitting into the camera. Okay. So lucky for us, it worked out because Christmas was the same for us. This year though, so generally it's full on Christmas and it's loud and it's crazy and you're sleeping in one space and you're sharing one bathroom. And there was a point at my grand's place you'd boil the water, but obviously that has since passed. But it was fun. It was just cool memories that you can never forget. This year though, we had our family call us and they're like, look, they want to come over to our place for Christmas, over festive. And we're like, yes. It was so weird because it was all of our parents. So my husband has his parents and I have my parents, but they separated, so we have two families. And we also had his brother come over with his wife and his kids, and then also their two friends, but not at once. We had family come over from the 13th of December all the way to the 20th of January, which at the time we were it's super chilled. And his parents are like, look, are you sure about this? You have back-to-back visitors. Even when they were here, they're like, are you sure it's not too much? We're like, it's super chilled, we are fine. Again, that was before we knew what energy it takes to obviously host. And it's not that we've never had our family over. During the year, we have our family comes in drips and drabs. My mom would come over Easter, then my dad might come over a long weekend. His parents have retired, so they would stay maybe for a week and visit their family here, but also stay by me. So it wasn't a thing, we didn't overthink it. We were like, okay, it's exactly the same thing, except now suppressed into the December holiday. Okay, so just to paint the picture, if you guys understand, we had my man's parents, then it was my mom and my stepdad, then it was my dad and my stepmom, and then it was his brother and their clique. And it was so close that there was one point where I think my mom had left the Friday or the Saturday morning, and my dad and them arrived the evening or the morning early. So I literally had a few hours to spring clean. And that is obviously changing the bedding, making sure everything's fresh again. So yeah, so that's the arrangement of everyone. And then obviously my siblings would come also. So I have siblings on both sides. My husband's siblings, they all like grown, so it was only his folks coming over. And again, at the time when we had this plan, we we're like, this is going to be great. It is so awesome having family over, especially because they want to come and visit. You know, again, with us, we would go visit our parents. The fact that they wanted to be here, especially over December, we were like, yes, it's super chill. So then what starts happening is, at the time, we're like, this is super chilled. My man's making breakfast for the family. We're planning outings. We like literally living our best lives. And then there comes a moment where you like now policing the milk and the toilet paper or the bread, because obviously when you're in your own space, you wake up and like, oh, there's no milk, babe, let's go get. Now you're not the only one using things, so you end up opening the fridge and you want to make tea and there's no milk, and now you're like, okay, I have to rush. Or you sit the evening before, like, okay, do we have everything we need for the next day? And again, if you're doing it once or twice, it's okay. But now, if you're doing it the whole December to make sure the house constantly have things, you're like, oh my word, there's actually a lot, you know. And then there's a moment where you want to host, so it's not just in the home, but you're like, guys, are you okay? What do you do for the day? Should we head out? Should we like explore? And in your mind, maybe the fourth day, you're like, we don't have to explore, we can just chill. So the holidays obviously filled with different experiences, and this doesn't include Christmas, because Christmas we still did what we usually did, and we did end up going home and then we came back again. So this was literally us holidaying for the whole time, and it was really a fun experience. And I think there was moments where we obviously played ourselves and we would get into bed, and we weren't even alone in bed, because there was a point where my siblings were sleeping in our room with us, you know, and the kids, it was like a full house, so we couldn't even have time to like just like talk or like vent or whatever healthy. And you'd have the whole day and then end up like just passing out. And then there was a moment where like, this is actually a lot. Like, we had no idea how much it takes to host. And it's not that our folks or our siblings was a lot, because it's not the case. We love going out and exploring and doing things with them. I think our cup was just empty because you didn't anticipate how much work it takes, you know. And having my mom over, like, in a moment, it's super chilled. But having like everyone back to back, we were like, what have we done? So anyway, we enjoyed the time. We now had our moments, and we're like, okay. When everyone left the house, it was quiet. We were like, here. We were like, this was a lot, you know. And also, you want people to be comfortable in your home. So there's also those times you're being super polite, because you're like, it's not a thing. Even in your heart, you're like, it is a thing, but it's not a big deal. You want everyone to enjoy themselves. So when everyone left, it was just like, here, and you're like, okay, now we can relax. And we weren't necessarily like holidaying. I thought we would, but we weren't. We were hosting, so we never had time to connect. So I felt so far away from him, even though we were like sleeping in the same bed, you know. It felt like we were so far, because we were both being like hostess with the mostess. And that is the key word for the day, because I'm going to be saying it 7,000 times: hosting, hostess with the mostess. So what we did was, when everyone had left, we sat down. We're like, okay, we obviously enjoy having family over, so that's not going to end. We're not going to not have family stay over. So we had a healthy conversation about what happened, how we felt, you know, how we can manage this better. And it was really just a case of managing the holiday better. It really has nothing to do with what the family does when they come here, because in all honesty, when my mom is in my space, or our parents, you know, they're going to do what they want to do. You telling them the kids don't eat this, they're like, let the kids eat it. You telling them the kids have a routine, they're like, it's holiday, let the kids. So those things are like normal. I think we all can relate to that. You in your space, you're like, look, we don't really drink full cream milk, and they're like, oh no, let the kids, or you guys should drink it, it's so healthy. These are just examples, but I mean, I'm sure we all can relate to that part. But this was honestly nothing to even do with that. This was just having family over, and there was no break in between. So yeah, so what did we learn from this? So one, definitely don't have visitors back to back. And I think I said it already. My parents, both our parents, were like, guys, are you sure about this? We're like, no, it's not a big deal. It was 100% a big deal. We're like, we did not know how much work we used to have like back to back visitors. And I think more so because of the fact that you have to turn everything when everyone goes. So you want to give space for like to air out your mattresses, or to like wash everything, because we're all about like having everything like obviously clean for the next guest. So that was a lot, I think. And just having everyone comfortable, because you know, when family comes over, you want to get your mom's favorite treats or your dad's, and you want to make sure there's something for everyone to have whenever they're in the kitchen or they feel nibbly and stuff. So that was number one. Definitely don't have back-to-back visits. And then it was setting boundaries, like on energy levels, because some of our guests or visitors in their whole family, they came with the intention to maybe be on holiday, but not to have holiday with us, where some of our guests were like, look, they want to have holiday with us. And then we realized we were like pushing out the same energy. We're like, that is so unnecessary. So with my parents, maybe in the year they would come like, oh, they're going to someone's 60th, they're going to come crash here and hang out, is it fine? Obviously yes, because they always spend time with the kids, and they'll do their own thing. So you know your energy is not like here, because you're going to see them in the morning and in the evening, super chilled. The same with our siblings, they come here and they do certain things, but what we were then doing is, regardless of which family member came to say they're going to either chill with us or they're coming to a holiday with us, we had the same energy. What do you need to do today? What do you want to do? Do you need to explore this? How can we help you? Whatever, making everyone like comfortable. And it was really, you don't think it is, but it was a lot of work, because then you are obviously, again, being like a tour guide or whatever the case may be, and it's not necessarily necessary, you know? So then plan better. So anticipate when someone's going to come. Are they chilling with us, or are they coming to spend time with us, so that we know how to plan instead of just treating everything the same, because that was definitely a big deal. You know, now having to navigate between what your plans, oh, we're going to do this, oh, should we join, should we not join, how should we go about this? Because remember, it was also our holiday, it was also our December, I was also on leave, so we were in between. So yeah, and then I think also, you know, if we do have family over or whoever, you know, it's just to have like a small break between or at the end, you know, because we then never really had a chance to be on holiday, as in to go away or to do anything, and not go away like leave, but just, you know, have our family time. Although again, we are so in a space where we want to be around our family, we consider it like our holiday, but just have that moment between your holiday and starting the school year or whatever the case may be. As crazy as it was though, and now it's much better, that's why I could only record it now, because I wrote about it like a while ago, because at the time I was so overwhelmed by everything, and I was like, how am I going to put this into a whole like video, especially because my parents also watch this. And I was like, so guys, the real reason I was sharing this, and I obviously can't, I was hoping that my husband would sit with me, but I know he doesn't want to maybe like relive this, and it wasn't bad at all. I think it was just funny for us when we like spoke about certain things. For example, like, you don't realize how much toilet paper you use until you use a lot of toilet paper. But the idea with sharing this is that honestly, we are super blessed to have our own space and to have our family want to come over. Second, I think when we spoke, it was just to set boundaries for ourselves. So we're like, things we wouldn't do. We're not really big on maybe telling our family that. And I also think like, even if we tell our parents something, they do not care. For example, if I tell my parents, look, the kids don't really eat sugar a lot, they're like, oh, it's holiday, let them. So we're not going to waste our time. And we also just realized we don't see them often, because we don't stay in the same province. So when they do come over, there's certain things we can just be okay with. It's only going to be for a couple of days. We'll get back into routine. Before we were like very like, okay, no, this is real, you know, they don't do this. And now we're like, no, it is fine. Also, that's what grandparents do. I love my grandparents because it's just a different energy. And I think also then why we're sharing is that if there's certain things you do want to ensure, you know, you should share it anyway. I think when you have family over, you want them to enjoy your space and you want to enjoy your space, but you don't drive yourself crazy. I think we drove ourselves crazy, but a good crazy. And now we kind of like, okay, moving forward, what do we do? There's so much I want to obviously like share, like the funny stuff. Maybe in the next episode I can have a recap of this and I can convince my man to sit with me. I did tell him that I'm going to make this episode and he should be part of it, but I didn't know how I would converse with him, because I just took our conversation and I put in the episode of what we like concluded and what we spoke about. But guys, it was wild, and I'm sure for you guys who have hosted your family, you can 100% relate to the smallest things that will be super weird, like I said, the toilet paper, or you don't realize how quick the sugar's finishing and you're like, what is going on? How many cups of tea could my parents possibly drink in one day? It is so funny now in hindsight, but at the time you're like, if I must go to spa another time today, well, I didn't, my man did, I'm sure like in one day he would go like 10 times. It was so funny, but yeah, it was a good time. We had a good festive. It was busy, it was full, and we definitely learned that we would not want to have an Airbnb for sure. I'd never be able to host. So yeah, if you guys have been hosting families for a long time, your family, or when you do have family come over, obviously share what you guys do, how you guys remain sane, and how you guys remain pleasant, you know, because there's such a fine line between when you're like super okay and you're like getting super tired, you're like, I cannot anymore, you know, if I have to boil the kettle one more time. Thank you guys for joining me on this episode. I hope it's something you can relate to, and I hope you guys share how you guys have experienced your time with your family. Thank you so much, and I will see you on the next episode. Have a good week, and thank you so much for hanging out with me.